All right, welcome back to the Broncbuster channel. If today is your first time joining us, then welcome. In today's video, we're going to dive into the video of the RockJock Antirock sway bar. We're going to talk about how to install it, each of the components that come with it, help you along the way in understanding what that process is. Then we're going to head out on the trail and we're going to show you some of that enhanced capabilities. We'll show you on a flex ramp how it changes how much articulation that vehicle has. It enhances your capabilities off-road by giving you more stability, keeping those wheels planted on the ground more, while still maintaining that quality ride we all enjoy on the highway without sacrificing any of those abilities and comforts.
Let's go Bronco! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Okay, so let's talk about the Antirock sway bar by RockJock. RockJock has a whole array of great products that can greatly enhance your vehicle, and that's why we are a proud partner to be able to carry their parts and offer them to you. So let's go ahead and start the install process on the Antirock sway bar. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do, let's go over all the parts that are needed. You're provided also a detailed list on our website of everything that's included with the kit and a detailed instruction. So if you want to follow along with the written instructions as we go through this, we're going to follow the exact process that RockJock has outlined in installing this process. Before getting started, I recommend opening up your box, laying everything out, going through the provided list of materials, and verifying you have that. Other things to note is the tools required. We've kind of laid everything out here on the table so that you have an idea of what tools. The biggest thing that you're going to want to have that you probably do not already have is a pass-through socket. Get yourself a pass-through socket set. You can get them at Harbor Freight. You might find it at your local hardware store, but that is one extra thing you're going to need. And a torque wrench. All the torque specs are provided in here. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started.
Step 1. We'll start the new sway bar install by removing the old sway bar. Begin by removing the nuts on both sides that attach the sway bar end link to the front lower control arms. These nuts may be discarded. Next, remove the 2 bolts on each side that attach the factory sway bar bushing brackets to the bottom of the frame. Retain these 4 bolts for reuse. You may now remove and discard the entire factory front sway bar as an assembly. Locate the 2 black UHNU sway bar bushings in the Antirock kit. Prepare them for use by coating their inside diameter and outside diameter with black chassis grease. The new frame brackets in the Antirock kit are the same, as in not right or left-hand side specific. Install the bushings into the brackets as shown. Slide a bracket and bushing assembly into the sway bar torsion bar. If you have any trouble getting the bracket and bushing assemblies onto the bar, you can tap them with a mallet. Position the new torsion bar and bracket assembly into place, aligning the holes in the new brackets with the factory sway bar's holes in the frame. Start one of the original bolts to hold the new unit into place. Follow up by inserting the other 3 factory bolts back into the holes. Now go back and tighten all 4 bolts. Locate all of the sway bar end link components in the new Antirock kit. Assemble the 2 end links to look like the photo at the lower right. You may thread the rod ends all the way onto until they stop. Attach your assembled sway bar end links to the new sway bar arms as shown. Note the direction of the bend in the arms. Pre-assemble the sway bar end link control arm mounts by sliding the right hand and left hand side specific lock tabs onto the double D-shaped hub on the bottom of the machine mount as shown. Again, noting the right hand and left hand specific of these assemblies. Install the sway bar end link mounts into the factory sway bar and link holes in the lower control arms on their respective sides, with the larger bore in the mount and the small tab facing outwards towards the tire. Ensuring that the locks are indexed properly onto the end link mounts, rotate the mounts until the locks stop against the control arms as shown, and then tighten. You can now slide your two arms with end links attached onto the spined sway bar torsion bar, making sure they are clocked in the same from right to left. Then go ahead and insert the end link and end studs into the holes in the end link mounts on the control arms. Next, you'll thread the nut for end link rod ends into the stud by inserting the nut into the bore in the machined mount. Tightening these nuts requires a 6mm Allen wrench, and then this is where the previously mentioned special through-hole ratchet with the 18mm socket comes into play. Open the sway bar arm hardware bag and insert the two 3/8" pinch bolts into the sway bar arm from the bottom, and then add the 3/8 nylock nuts on top. Next, place the aluminum finish washers over the end of the bar and install and tighten the flathead Allen bolts. Now go back and tighten the 3/8" pinch bolt and then torque it to 35 feet-pounds. Torque the 4 frame brackets bolts to spec. Give the rods on the end link a turn to make sure they are not preloaded. If they are, adjust one to reduce the load on both. You may then tighten their jam nuts, being mindful to keep the end rods clocked properly so they are not pre-articulated once tight. Lastly, grab a hold of the end link units and rotate them, again to set all of the rods ends in neutral position. This finishes your install, and you should now be seeing what is photo on both sides of your vehicle.
Hope you enjoyed this video and learned something today on how to install this Antirock sway bar by RockJock onto your Ford Bronco. If you did like this, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button and follow along as we bring to you more great content on how to install these parts on your Bronco. I will say this, with the added 3.5 inches of articulation, this part definitely gets the Broncbuster tested and approved. All right, check out our playlist here with other videos that you're not going to want to miss on how to install other of these great parts from Broncbuster on your vehicle.